Hi, this is Jeremy Mason McGraw with CC Site. Should you think about your personal fashion? Designer Charles Harbison says you already do, and it's important. Recently, I had a chance to sit down with the brilliant mind behind the Harbison brand and talk a little bit about his work with Michelle Obama, Beyonce, and building an independent brand in an industry that's already crowded with giants. I hope you enjoy this conversation from the beautiful Altagracia Resort in Costa Rica.
Fashion is your opportunity to say something about yourself before you even open your mouth. And I want people to look at it that way. It's a failed opportunity for you to wake up every day and do the same thing. Dressing is something that everyone does every single day. Everyone should care about fashion. Even indigenous peoples do. You know, like culturally they care about the aesthetic representation of their people in the way that they dress, in the way that they look. It's something very human. And as much as anyone says that they don't care about fashion, that person standing in front of me has on clothes. You know, I've spent a lot of time in fine art studies, so the artists of the modernist movement, Bauhaus artists, they definitely are a consistent reference point for me. I love them. Bryce Martin, Alexander Calder, Mies van der Rohe, all of Mondrian. It's a dialogue and a system of creating that I relate to. While in New York City and working as a textile designer, my best friend got married, and leading up to her wedding, she tells me that she wants me to make her wedding dress. You know, by and large, I can look back and see that subconsciously there was a reference to my mother and to seeing that process of her getting ready and in the end feeling more confident and more self-assured by way of the process of dressing. And so I want to allow that process for women at large. So I think that's the thing that I really fell in love with and that really clinched it for me. It is a volatile and competitive market, especially when the giants that I'm up against are some of which are giants that I've worked for. So I know the machine behind these brands, and I know that there's two of us in my studio every day. But at the same time, there is the benefit of social media in that, you know, the market is not what it used to be. There used to be this liaise of a buyer. There used to be this filter that stores went through or clients had to go through to get to the product that they wanted. That no longer exists. In situations like this where I get to bring the product to Costa Rica, it allows me direct contact with a new market, with new individuals, and it allows me to open myself up to all of these women, actually in a way that Ralph Lauren's not able to do. And that's the great benefit of a new emerging brand. You get to find new customers. You get to tell a new story. And you do it on the premise that there is a woman, there's a client, there's a man who's looking for that. So, you know, last summer I did a crowdfunding campaign. I was not successful. But out of that, the First Lady stylist found my collection, and then I ended up at the White House speaking on a panel for high school students interested in fashion, speaking on entrepreneurship, attending the celebration of design with greats that evening in Washington. So it was a magical experience that came out of a seemingly failed initiative. Do what you do and do it well, and that will set you apart, particularly when it comes to fashion these days, because fashion is now cool in a way that it never has been, and the path to fashion has seemingly been democratized because of like television shows and all those sorts of things. So many kids are trying to make it in the business now. But what has been largely forgotten is that it is a craft. It's a skill that you need to train to do better and better and better, and schooling is important, intelligence is important, not just open creativity. And then when it comes to being a fashion business, you have to be market savvy, you have to be business savvy, and you have to be willing to endure. Having a tenacity and a perseverance on top of it all is maximally important. But again, at the core, do what you do well, and if you don't do it well, move on to something else.